All right, everybody, welcome back to West Virginia Wire. Today, we're reacting to the multilateral meeting following President Trump's sit down with President Zelensky, a key step that could shape the path toward a possible trilateral meeting with Putin. How do you feel this multilateral meeting went after the Putin-Zelensky talks? Do you think Trump's upcoming call to Putin will move things forward or stall the process? Stay tuned as we break it all down, share our reactions, and get your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, good.
All right, guys, we're streaming live from the White House YouTube channel, and this is the meeting that was
Thank you very much.
followed the meeting with Zelensky.
Have you here? Special place. White House is special no matter where you're from. Represents so much, and it really is beautiful. And thank you for all of the wonderful things that took place today. We've had a very successful day thus far, and important to.
And forgive me, you guys, that I didn't go live earlier. In fact, I'm going to let this play as he gives the opener to what he's saying. I probably would have went live with this. Sorry, you guys. I'm eating as I'm laying this down. But I decided to go with a pre-record on this one simply because I already went live earlier. I'm eating brown rice and chicken that Big Russ made for me. So thank you, Big Russ, for that. And then you see Moose over there eyeballing my food, you know, like Mr. Moose over there. Anyway, let's continue on.
See if we can get it finished. Put this to sleep, because this is.
That would be nice.
Since the Second World War has there been anything like this. So I'm honored to welcome NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who's a great gentleman, great political leader in Europe generally, but now he's the NATO Secretary General, and you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Mark. Prime Minister Starmer of the United Kingdom, our friend and my friend, and doing really well. And people like him a lot. We all like him. Everyone knows President Macron of France, who's been with me from the beginning. One of the first people I met is a foreign dignitary, and I liked him from day one.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And I like him even more now. That's pretty good. That's unusual. That's a pretty unusual thing. Prime Minister Meloni of Italy, who's a really a great leader and an inspiration over there. She's served now, even though she's a very young person. She's served there for a long period of time relative to others. They don't last very long. You've lasted a long time. You're going to be there a long time. Chancellor Merz of Germany, who is a very strong person and a very strong leader and very highly respected in Germany. And he's my friend, and it's an honor to have him as my friend. Thank you very much. Very good. You look great with your tan. Where did you get that tan? I want to. President Stubb of Finland, and he's somebody that. Where are we here? Where? Oh, you look better than I've ever seen you look. But you've done a great job, and we wanted to have you here because you're somebody that we all respect. And you've had a lot to do with the success, I think, and the potential success. And thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. And the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, who is somebody that we just made a big deal with all of those countries. I don't know. I think you might be more powerful than all these guys at this table. I don't know. But we had a great negotiation, and you're respected all over the world. So I want to thank you very much for being here. It's a great honor to have you. The Alaska summit reinforced my belief that while difficult, peace is within reach, and I believe that in a very significant step, President Putin agreed that Russia would accept security guarantees for Ukraine, and this is one of the key points that we need to consider, and we're going to be considering that at the table also, like who will do what, essentially. Yep. I'm optimistic that collectively we can reach an agreement that would deter any future aggression against Ukraine, and I actually think there won't be. I think that's even overrated, largely overrated, but we're going to find out. And I think that the European.
Did you hear what he said? He felt like it was largely
Yeah.
overrated. Listen,
Rewind
Who will
time.
do what, essentially. I'm optimistic that collectively we can reach an agreement that would deter any future aggression against Ukraine. And I actually think there won't be. I think that's even overrated, largely overrated, but we're going to find out. And I think that the European nations are going to take a lot of the burden. We're going to help them, and we're going to make it very secure. We also need to discuss the possible exchanges of territory, taking into consideration the current line of contact. That means the war zone, the war lines that are pretty obvious, very sad actually to look at them, and negotiating positions.
so here's what's really going to tell us with the drawing of the lines, like what's acceptable to which leader. You heard the reporter, the journalist ask the question in the live stream, if you joined us for that, between Zelensky and President Trump, that, how does Ukraine have fair claim on lands that Russia has not conquered yet? What do you mean conquered? If a country or an unclaimed land is selling their territory, that's on them, right? I say we should sell no more American territory, no more U.S. land, but that's another conversation. Let's keep going.
President Putin. Also, you have President of Ukraine, who is you just met a little while ago, and we're going to try and get a three-party meeting, maybe as soon as we can. And I have a feeling you and President Putin are going to work something out. Ultimately, this is a decision that can only be made by President Zelensky and by the people of Ukraine.
And remember, you heard Zelensky say in the body language guys video analysis that, Zelensky's like, we don't need outside entities deciding this stuff for us. Well, if that's the case, then why do you continue to ask for our help?
Working also together in agreement with President Putin. And I just think that's very good things are going to come of it. So I hope we have a good meeting. And if we can have a good meeting, I'll set up a meeting with President Putin. And if you'd like, I'll go to that meeting. And not that I want to do that, but
right?
Because we want to save a lot of people from dying. A lot of people are dying, and we got to save them. Got to save it. 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people sometimes a week. All of us would obviously prefer an immediate ceasefire while we work on a lasting peace, and maybe something like that could happen. As of this moment, it's not happening, but President Zelensky and President Putin can talk a little bit more about the 6 or so wars that we stopped. We haven't had a ceasefire, and so I don't know that it's necessary. You can do it through the war, but it would be, I like the ceasefire from another standpoint. You immediately stop the killing. But I believe a peace agreement at the end of all of this is something that's very attainable, and it can be done in the near future.
I hope so.
With all of the wars that I got involved in, we only have this one left. Of course, as I walk out the door, there'll probably be a new one starting, and I'll get that stopped too. But I thought this was going to be one of the easier ones. It's actually one of the most difficult. They're very complex. The next step would be for a trilateral meeting, and that will be worked out. And I just look forward to working and having a great result. We're going to spend a lot of time today talking about, and we're really honored you guys came over. I mean, these are the heads of major countries and respected all over Europe. And they speak for, largely, I think I should say, but pretty much for the other countries of Europe. And we will come to a resolution today, I think, on almost everything, including probably the security. And that's pretty much the story. I'd like to say, Mr. President, would you like to say something? You have the media. If you want, you could come over and you could stand, you could use mine, or you could just turn around, whichever you feel comfortable with.
Moment of truth, y'all.
Thank you so much. I can speak without microphone. Thank you so much. I think that we had a very good conversation with President Trump.
Very good.
And it really was the best one, or sorry, maybe the best one will be in the future. But it was really good, and we spoke about very sensitive points. The first one is security guarantees, and we are very happy with President that all the leaders are here, and the security in Ukraine depends on the United States and on you and on those leaders who are with us in our hearts. They have been online before yesterday, and etc. So a lot of countries on the side of Ukraine, our people, and all of us want to finish this war, stop Russia and stop this war. We spoke about it, and we will speak more.
Hold on. So there he goes. Stop Russia. Stop Russia. Stop Russia. Look, I thought this was peace negotiations, right? You keep saying stop Russia. Did Putin go into the peace talks saying stop Zelensky, stop Zelensky? I don't know.
I think we might have a
gives such strong signal and is ready for security guarantees. The second point, or maybe the first, the humanitarian direction, very important to exchange all the prisoners, and I think that President will help, and I was very thankful to for security guarantees. The second point, or maybe the first, the humanitarian direction, very important to exchange all the prisoners.
Rewind time.
All the leaders are here, and the security in Ukraine depends on the United States and on you and on those leaders who are with us in our hearts. They have been online before yesterday, and etc. So a lot of countries on the side of Ukraine, our people, and all of us want to finish this war, stop Russia and stop this war. We spoke about it, and we will speak more about security guarantees. Yeah. This is very important that the United States gives such strong signal and is ready for security guarantees. The second point, or maybe the first.
Or what? Or what?
What are you going to do about it?
Ukraine will be happy if you
both
participate.
Want me there, I will be there.
Yeah, thank you. And I think this is very important. Yes, so security guarantees, bringing kids back and all our.
Listen, did you hear what he said? Security guarantees. Now he wants President Trump there when he said earlier that he didn't. This should be interesting.
There's a big surprise. That's an incredible. I think I'm gonna have a
and
heart
all the
attack
civilians,
and die
journalists, a
from
lot
that
of people in prison. So we need them back.
Look at Macron's face.
Guarantees which will work for the years. We spoke about it, and I showed the president a lot of details on the battlefield, on the map. Thank you so much. Thank you for the map, by the way.
Good map.
It was great. Yeah. I'm thinking how to take it back.
We'll get you.
No. I think that.
I'm thinking how to take it back. I'm thinking how to take it back. He's not interested in peace. I'll say it again. I do not hear a person that is interested in peace. Tell me where the peace talk is out of his mouth.
We had.
It sounds more like pandering, begging.
I think we might have a hustler here.
I'm very thankful to all the leaders who are here, and you help.
You're not thankful.
And so we are happy that we have such big unity today.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much,
for hosting us.
Mr.
Thank
President. I think you'll see that President Putin really would like to do something else. I think when we set that up, when we do, I think it's going to be when, not if. I think you're going to see some really positive moves. I know there's over 1,000 prisoners, and I know they're going to release them. Maybe they're going to release them very soon, like immediately, which I think is great. But we're going to set that up today after this meeting. So very good and great remarks. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mark, as head of NATO,
well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
I really want to thank you, President of the United States, dear Donald, for the fact that you, as I said before, broke the deadlock. Basically with President Putin by starting that dialogue. And I think it was in February that you had the first phone call. And from there, we are now where we are today. And that is, I think if we play this well, we could end this. And we have to end this. We have to stop the killing. We have to stop the destruction of Ukraine's infrastructure. It is a terrible war. So I'm really excited. And let's make the best out of today and make sure that from today onwards, we get this thing to an end as soon as possible. I really want to thank you for your leadership, what you are doing for Volodymyr, but of course also all the European colleagues. It is really crucial. And the fact that you have said, I'm willing to participate in the security guarantees is a big step. It's really a breakthrough, and it makes all the difference. So also,
What security guarantees? What are we guaranteeing, right? I don't know if I like the sound of this.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, NATO also has
man.
agreed from 2% to 5%, which is something that is a massive amount of money. And it's 2% that wasn't always paid to 5% that is paid. That's a big difference. And so we appreciate that. That was a great move. Thank you very much. Ursula, maybe on behalf of the Commission, you could say a couple of words.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a very important moment. Indeed, we are here, European.
Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and ask. So you heard what President Trump said, that the 2% that wasn't always fully paid has went up to 5% that has been fully paid. But what have they paid for, right? So did they pay for their dues in NATO to go in and dictate, you know, what the United States is going to do? Like, I don't understand what's going on here, right? Is it all off to the highest bidder? I'm sorry that I'm eating. I shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, I'm just so confused.
I think we might have a hustler here.
We had a fantastic NATO summit. Together as the two largest and biggest economies in the world. We had the largest trade deal ever agreed. And now we are here to work together with you on a just and lasting peace for Ukraine. Stop the killing. This is really our common interest, stop the killing. And indeed, it's very good to hear that we're working on the security guarantees, Article 5 lies security guarantees, so important. But I want to thank you also that you mentioned the thousands of Ukrainian children that have been abducted. And as a mother and grandmother, every single child has to go back to its family. This should be one of our main priorities also in these negotiations, to make sure that the children come back to Ukraine, to their families.
Whoa! So forgive me, is this lady insinuating that Putin's over there kidnapping children? I don't know. Let me know if you know.
I was just thinking we're here for a different reason, but we just a couple of weeks ago made the largest trade deal in history. So that's a big thing, and congratulations. That's great. Thank you very much, Ursula. Mr. Chancellor from Germany, a very great leader.
Mr. President,
Please.
dear Donald, many thanks for having us today. I think this is extremely helpful that we are meeting and hearing that the two of you are having such a good meeting today here in Washington. The next steps ahead are the more complicated ones now. The path is open. You opened it last Friday, but now the way is open for complicated negotiations. And to be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire, the latest from the next meeting on. I can't imagine that the next meeting would take place without a ceasefire.
How about just make a deal? Stop with all this ceasefire nonsense that nobody's going to honor. Zelensky's going to continue to lie. I don't know who's telling the truth, and we need to get out of it. We should say they have this many hours to come to an agreement, to a full-on peace agreement, or it's over. We're out. Nobody supports anybody.
No, I'm out.
So let's work on that, and let's try to put pressure on Russia.
No.
Because the
No.
credibility of these efforts, we are
No, put pressure on Zelensky. Man, this is pissing me off.
undertaking today are depending on at least a ceasefire from the beginning of the serious negotiations from next step on. So I would like to emphasize this aspect and would like to see a ceasefire from the next meeting, which should be a trilateral meeting wherever it takes place.
Well, we're going to let the president go over and talk to the president, and
Boom.
we'll see how that works out. And if we can do that, I will say, and again, I say it, in the 6 wars that I've settled, I haven't had a ceasefire. We just got into negotiations, and one of the wars was, as you know, in the Congo was 31 years long. Another one that we settled last week with 2 great countries was 30.
For complicated negotiations. And to be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire the latest from the next.
Come on now, dog.
I can't.
Come on, man.
Would took place without a ceasefire. So let's work on that and let's try to put pressure on Russia, because the credibility of the efforts we are undertaking today are.
Come on now, dog.
At least a
Come
ceasefire
on, man.
from the beginning of the serious negotiations from next step on. So I would like to
What?
emphasize this aspect. And
Bro, what
I'd
are you
like to
talking
see
about, man?
A ceasefire from the next meeting, which should be a trilateral meeting wherever it takes place.
Well, we're going to let what we settled last week with 2 great. I haven't had a ceasefire. We just got into negotiations, and one of the wars was, as you know, in the Congo was 31 years long. Another one that we settled last week with 2 great countries was 35 years going on, and we had no ceasefire. So if we can do the ceasefire, great. And if we don't do a ceasefire, because many other points were given to us, many points were given to us, great points. Please, Georgia, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Donald, Mr. President, for hosting us today in this important meeting. And I think it is an important day.
She got a hot mic.
After 3 years and a half that we didn't see any kind of sign from the Russian side that there was a willing for dialogue. So something is changing, something has changed, thanks to you. Thanks also to the stalling in the battlefield, which was achieved with the bravery of Ukrainians and with the unity that we all provided to Ukraine. And the reason why I mention it is that we also have to remind that if we want to reach peace and if we want to guarantee.
Thank you, Mr. President, for organizing this meeting
Macron
and for
speaks.
your commitment. And everything was said, but I just have to say here, everybody around this table is in favor of peace. And we work very hard, and we've worked very hard during the past few years to have a peace which is a robust and long-standing peace.
I guess my only question is, why isn't Putin at this meeting? Why wasn't he invited to this meeting, right? Why does Zelensky get to sit in this meeting without Putin? Was Putin even invited? I don't know.
This is why the idea of a trilateral meeting is very important, because this is the only way to fix it. And by the way, I think as a follow-up, we would need probably a quadrilateral meeting, because when we speak about security guarantees, we speak about the whole security of the European continent. And this is why we are all united here with Ukraine on this matter.
No.
In order to organize such a trilateral meeting, your idea to ask for a truce or ceasefire, at least to stop the killings, as we discussed, is a necessity. And
it is not a necessity. It is not a necessity. Please do not agree to this, President Trump.
To have such a long-standing peace for Ukraine and for the whole continent, we do need the security guarantees.
No, you don't. We're out.
And the second one is our own commitment, all of us. And we worked very hard during the past few months amongst the coalition of the willings, with the support of NATO, to build
I think we might have a hustler here.
security guarantees and our commitments. And you can be sure that the Europeans are very lucid about the fact that they have their fair share in these security guarantees for Ukraine, but their own security is clearly at stake in this situation. So you can count on us as we can
did
count
you
on
hear that? Did you
in order
hear
to
that?
deliver.
He said their own security is at stake. Well, if your own security is at stake, then mind your own business. Worry about your own country, right? Worry about your own country. Worry about your own security. Stop asking the United States to support you, to support Ukraine. If you don't have money to send to Ukraine or get involved in a foreign war, then stop it. Stop this madness. Stop this madness.
What?
Stop this madness.
Stop this madness.
I think we might have a hustler here. I think we might have a hustler here.
this robust peace for both Ukraine and Europe.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you for hosting us here. Can I start where Emmanuel started, which is we all want peace. The war in Ukraine has had a huge impact, particularly on the.
That sounds like a bunch of BS to me. It all sounds like.
Ensure that that is.
I'll take the notion of youth back to my wife and try to convince her. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think in the past 2 weeks, we've probably had more progress in ending this war than we have in the past 3.5 years. And I think the fact that we're around this table today is very much symbolic in the sense that it's Team Europe and Team United States helping Ukraine.
No.
And the progress that we're looking out of this meeting is about security guarantees, which are a big part of this. And then, of course, moving towards a process with a trilateral meeting with you and President Putin and President Zelensky. Some of the international media might wonder, why is the president of Finland here? I think the reason is probably that we might come from a small country, but we have a long border with Russia, over 800 miles. And we, of course, have our own historical experience with Russia from World War II, the Winter War and the War of Continuation.
Man,
if I look at the silver lining of...
I cannot even listen to this bullshit.
And, or at least we have to give it our best. It's all you can to find an answer to. So we're going to be meeting for a while, and we're going to discuss some of the issues. And I don't think there's any issue that's overly complex. It's at a point now where people want to do things. I really do believe, I've known him for a long time. I've always had a great relationship with him. I think that President Putin wants to find an answer too. And we'll see. And in a certain period of time, not very far from now, a week or 2 weeks, we're going to know whether or not we're going to solve this, or is this horrible fighting going to continue. We'll do the best to get it ended. And I believe you have two willing parties, and usually that's good news, but two willing parties that want to make a deal. And we'll journey together, and we'll go over and we'll see if it can be done. And it's possible it might not be able to be done. On the other hand, it's possible it will. I'm going to say.
I'm telling you right now, when he has the conversation, Putin's going to take it. Well, they're all teaming up on me. They're all saying that you should do this and you should do that. How can he not take that as a sign of aggression, that all these people are ganging up on him? And I'm not saying that things haven't happened in the past with Russia, but Putin hasn't always been at the helm. I think it's maybe 20 years. I don't know. But anyway, that's all we got. You guys stay tuned. There's more to come. Peace.
I am as ignorant as you.